Hey everybody, it's Monday. I was making a video today to reintroduce myself. I've been working on myself in this thesis for a few years now, and I finally got the message I've been putting out there about time dilation and development from an experience I've been having since I've woken up and been teaching on lately about how we are part of a conscious grid which was made by God to keep us together on his conscious thinking as a whole. And we seem to get there at different times in our ages. I was 27 when I did, and I was going through a time where I felt suicidal, and I was combating and asking God why and what's my reason and what's my purpose here. And it started off him showing me and reminding me of Jesus Christ and why he died on the cross and how he had to carry the world in his heart. And once I woke up to realize the conscious grid that we are all connected in, it helped, realizing that helped me come out of my personal situation on the reason why I was combating God with my time here, and seeing how Jesus died on the cross for our innocence and our shame so we can enjoy our time here. It helped me reiterate from that point on how my purpose here is to also do the same and carry the world and feed people encouragement and help them see God in a different way or a clearer way, or see him for the first time, or if whatever your story is. My story is I grew up learning at Jesus Christ. I was a teacher and grew up in a Christian home. So when I woke up, it was familiar because I built a relationship with him. So realizing what Jesus did on the cross by carrying people within his heart and sharing his intellect on how he had a relationship with God and how we were reciting to time on how we want to project ourselves, which should be how he sees us, which is thoughts of peace and self-preservation. It helped me come up with the thesis, time dilation and development, because he moves time as I recite to assure us, to ensure us and sustain us in his promise of self-preservation, because he is the God that created us and wanted to preserve us because he loves us unconditionally. So he had to send his son to die for us so we can see the innocence that he placed here within himself and within us, to see why self-preservation was the key to unconditional love, to preserve the I guess you could say magic. People call him a genie, some people would call him God, some call him the all-seeing eye. I call him Father and best friend. I've been reiterating and reciting in the conscious grid for a while now, and it's been different. I've found my purpose in sharing what he's done for me, and he turned it into a whole message within my life, within myself, that I can share on the outside world as well as the inside. And it is a journey that I've been learning to enjoy. Putting brands together, I came up with Vision of Peace. I also have shirts put together. It's a dove inside of a circle, which the dove represents the pupil, the all-seeing eye, and how he wants us to be free with the world drawn in the dove. That's because we're all free. We all have the right to have freedom and enjoy our freedom. And the circle meaning we're whole in him. Because we are made whole, it's waking up. It's just a realizing of being whole already, and realizing that he's done everything for you already, and we're actually his. Some people will call it projection. Christians, we call them kids. I call us king's kids. And it's it's actually, well, the way I was taught is that we were made in his reflection, which would be projection, because we're made to mirror his intellect on love, because that's the beginning and end of our story here. We born wanting love and we're dying wanting love, and seeing that is provided. As soon as our existence was created, it gave us a map on how to live our life. And when we try to conjure up reasons not to preserve, we're making up things to live by that don't exist. And within ourselves, we have to learn how to master ourselves to see what's actually real. So you have to understand who you are. And it helps to learn who the one who created you is, to learn who you are, because there's no all-knowing of God. There's getting to know him gradually and gracefully, because his grace and mercy is new every morning. And you can use that time to actually get to know the one who gave you the grace. So you'll have intellect on how to manifest your life gracefully and have a good, successful ending in your family line, and knowing that you have all the intellect to succeed, you tend to want to share it with the ones you love, and so on and so forth with society that you live in. So I've been putting my intellect out there on how we can manifest our life gracefully as individuals as well as a whole, to self-preserve us for the future, because they're going to need to know this to project their future, because as God mirrors and manifests the future, which is eternity, we see that he is looking for all of us to be in his line of thinking of self-preservation and service, and as we are made in unconditional love. So if he gives me unconditional love to give, he also gave you unconditional love to give, which means we could have a perfect utopia, as they call it, if we all were to be who we are, instead of contradicting ourselves in our own minds on how love should be, or how love should be envisioned according to our own thinking, whether it came from our duality of seeing evil and good. But we can't mix the two, because in the Garden of Eden, the snake was presented as a metaphor for us going between love and hate, and time moving forward consciously, you're moving from love to hate, love to hate, love to hate, love to hate, moving your consciousness like a snake in God's garden. So I believe that Adam and Eve was a metaphor for our conscious self, when what we stand on our decision, whether it was a decision out of love or a decision out of hate, which is two different things. And you'll have to stay in one or the other, which is preferred love, obviously, but the knowledge of evil doesn't mean you have to put an action towards it. So, that being said, you are playing your own snake in your own life, and you playing a snake in society's life, which is being a menace to society. And God gave us the free will to protect our peace, so we all have to come together on decisions on how we address things. And as we see in society, we came up with a few ways to do so, but in it all is self-accountability, and it's your decisions that moves you, and it starts in your consciousness. And if you don't take a hold of your own decisions, your decisions will take a hold of you. So, in it all, I'm just him. I'm putting the message out there, letting everybody get to know me a bit, and I'm working on putting the education behind it as well, and putting my life and journey in a memoir eventually. I'm still working on a few things in my life, as well as helping encourage people move forward in theirs. So, thank you, and have a good day.